Kia ora everyone and welcome to today's Explainer. I'm absolutely stoked to have you here. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating, but let's be honest, often misunderstood topic, AI agents and tool use. And we're going to break it down using first principles thinking. That means we're going to strip away all the hype, ignore all that confusing jargon, and just look directly at the fundamental building blocks of how this tech actually works. So, let's get straight into it.
Right. So think about this for a second. If artificial intelligence is so incredibly smart, we're talking about something that can write complex poetry, pass medical exams, and write computer code, why on earth can't it simply turn on a smart light switch in your lounge? Straight up, it seems like an incredibly basic task, right? But this simple question actually highlights the absolute fundamental limitation of AI as we usually think of it. To understand why it can't just flick that switch, we really need to isolate the irreducible truth of what an LLM, or large language model, actually is. If you strip away the sci-fi movie tropes, an LLM is essentially just a really powerful text generator that's trapped inside a digital box. It's entirely disconnected from the outside world. Think of it like a master chef who has memorized literally every recipe in human history, but they are locked in a completely empty room. No oven, no ingredients, no way to actually cook you a meal. They just have static knowledge based entirely on their training data, and that's it.
Okay, let's dive into this. How do we actually get our master chef out of that empty room? How do we give this AI brain some hands so it can finally interact with the real world? Well, this is where the tool use pattern, which developers often call function calling, comes in. It connects the LLM brain to external tools. You give it a prompt, the agent processes it, realizes it needs a tool, uses that tool to get some external output, and then feeds it right back to you. We are effectively building a bridge between artificial reasoning and real-world action.
Section 1. Rebuilding the concept step by step.
Now that we've stripped away the hype, let's look at this brilliant 6-step process. First up, we have tool definition. This is where we describe the external function to the AI so it knows exactly what the tool does and what info it needs. Second is the LLM decision. The AI looks at your request and decides, hey, I actually need a tool to answer this. Third, function call generation. The AI creates a structured digital order docket, usually something called a JSON file, asking for that specific tool. Fourth is tool execution, where the framework intercepts that docket and actually runs the external function. Fifth, observation. The system gets the result back from the real world. And finally, step 6, LLM processing. The AI reads that result and uses it to give you a final informed answer. It's just step-by-step logic building on logic.
And the ecosystem of proxy tools brilliantly illustrates that a tool isn't just one simple thing. In the AI world, proxy tools can be practically anything at all. It could be a web browser, it could be a database, a map, or even another highly specialized AI agent. So our main AI agent can act like a project manager, delegating a math problem to a calculator tool, or maybe a deep research task to a web search tool. The possibilities are massive once you give that central brain access to this diverse digital toolbox.
Section 2. Common AI misconceptions.
Let's tackle a huge myth right now. A lot of people assume that when you ask an AI for the current weather in London, or maybe the exact population of the Earth today, it intrinsically just knows the answer from its own brain. But the reality? Its internal knowledge is completely static. It basically cut off whenever its initial training ended. So to give you today's weather, the AI actually generated a request to an external weather API tool to go out and find that dynamic data. It didn't know the weather. It just knew exactly how to look it up using a tool.
Section 3. Real-world applications.
So, how does this actually help us? Sweet. Let's look at some practical examples where the use case directly dictates the tool the agent has to pull from its toolbox. In e-commerce, if a user asks, is product X in stock? The agent uses an inventory API to go check the database. In finance, if you ask for Apple's stock price and your potential profit, it hits a stock API to get the current price and then a calculator tool to do the math. And for your smart home, asking it to turn off the lights triggers an IoT device API. The underlying framework is identical every single time, only the tool changes depending on the job at hand.
Now, if you look under the hood, you might hear developers throw around fancy names like LangChain, CrewAI, Google Agent Developer Kit, or Vertex AI extensions. Do not let those technical names intimidate you. From a first principles perspective, these frameworks are really just Lego baseplates. They provide the structured canvas where you take your LLM brain block and snap it securely together with your tool hands block to build something actually useful. For instance, LangChain binds tools to the model, while CrewAI assigns those tools to specific agent roles, like a financial analyst. They handle that whole 6-step communication loop we talked about earlier, so developers don't have to build the water pipes from scratch.
Now, what's really interesting about this evolution is the jump from traditional static APIs to dynamic code execution. For example, the Google ADK features a built-in code execution tool. And this is huge because it gives the agent a sandboxed environment where it can literally write its own Python scripts, run them to perform complex math or procedural logic, and then read the output. It's not just fetching data anymore, it's dynamically creating and running solutions on the fly. How cool is that?
Section 4. Summary. From basics to clarity. Let's quickly recap our journey here. To sum this all up, there is a very powerful idea to remember. Tool use is what transforms a language model from a text generator into an agent capable of sensing, reasoning, and acting in the digital or physical world. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that tools are the ultimate bridge. They turn a static, disconnected brain, our master chef locked in an empty room, into an active, capable participant in our world.
We've stripped AI tool use right down to the studs and built it back up. So, my question for you to take away is this. What other seemingly magic technology can you break down to its basic building blocks today? Because once you apply first principles thinking, nothing is too complicated to understand. Keep questioning the fundamentals, keep exploring, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Catch you next time.